It's slow for you.
I'm automated.
It's power.
Here we are in the Carnival.
Since I've trained everybody to use Escalade, now I guess I have to do Carnival every time we say it.
I
Great.
It's the Kia Carnival. Apparently Sedona is right out. Sedona is really old news. Also, another thing that's out at Kia, besides their logo, is the word minivan. They're unhappy about the word minivan because it is an American word, and they've replaced their minivan with an MPV, multi-purpose vehicle, multi-person vehicle, which is a term from Europe. They really, really want us to not say minivan. But what is this? This is the Carnival, the new minivan.
Every time.
Kia.
You're watching Everyday Driver. We make a TV show, podcast,
and YouTube channels dedicated to great cars, driving adventures, and helping you find a car you'll love.
Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a thing.
The word MPV has been around for a long time.
Yes.
But because these are new, the new class, Kia sent us 2 Carnivals.
This one has the fun seats.
Because of the different trim levels. It's not just trim and styling. It's the seats. Because if we're going to be in a Carnival and an MPV,
it's a party. It's a party of both of them.
It really is about the seating configuration. So the SX here that I'm in is the 8-passenger with the middle seat that can actually move fore and aft so the seat can be closer to mom. When the baby seat's here, mom has direct access.
Yep.
Whereas the 7-passenger that Todd is currently in,
yes,
it has the crazy do-it-all, including if you put yourself all the way back, you can do the little lounger.
Executive seats?
Yes. Yes. You got to put yourself all the way back to do that.
Oh.
It won't work.
How do I get further back?
Here? That one. Go all the way back.
Yes. There we go.
And now your power button's on the right. There we go. On your right hand?
Yes.
There we go. Push.
One of them will work.
One of them will work.
Okay. Hi. Wait.
Coming back. Look how far back that goes.
This is an executive seat option. When you put them all the way back, they're not quite comfortable enough. Something about the body position. It
could it be that extra vertebrae in your spine?
It may be. It feels too middle ground between I'm sitting up and I'm sitting back. I figure if you're going to go back, let's go way back.
You want to be able to sleep.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, I think if you're going to do that, if you're going to go back, these need to go back further. And so it's one of those things where it feels kind of cool, and then I realize I wouldn't use it because it's not quite far enough.
The problem is we're too big.
Yeah, that's fair.
It goes far enough, it's just, we're too big.
We're trees.
That's the big problem.
This was not designed for trees. That is possibly the problem. The other thing that's interesting is these have the screens. Yours has screens, mine has screens. These screens are designed to stream anything you can imagine, which is a good feature. It's got kid-friendly interaction on the interface, and that's all good. The oddity, though, is Kia does not offer a Wi-Fi hotspot in this. So if you want to stream, you have to stream off a linked phone. Is that the end of the world? No, but it's a thing.
Use your data off your phone, which is fine.
Yes.
The screens are good because a lot of the screens in the back seats of minivans and cars are fumbly and hard to use, and they don't quite come on. These have an HDMI port. They have auxiliary. Imagine you as a designer, you as a product planner, you've been told to redesign the Sedona. You've been told to go after the minivan market, but you've also been told to acknowledge that everybody is buying SUVs. And because of that, what is in the middle? What if we made it boxier? And if you think boxy doesn't necessarily mean off-road and luxury, go look at a Rolls-Royce Cullinan and then come back to me and we can argue about it. Look at the side profile and imagine this with the X-Line package from the Sorento that raises this 1 inch higher, little bit knobbier tires, and had all-wheel drive. And Kia, if you do that, because currently the Carnival is not available with all-wheel drive. It's only front.
I keep trying to fix this seat. I've got it better. My feet are now like broken, but it's better.
I'm telling you, it does work. We're just too big.
We're just too big.
But I love that the option is there. Now, in this 8-passenger seating configuration, Kia tells us that you can get a 4x8 sheet of plywood in the back. You have to take out the center row here, the second seating row, and put the third row all the way back. You cannot do that with the XS Prestige, but if you buy the Prestige, I guess you hire people to carry plywood for you.
We don't carry lumber.
Because you can't
We have the Prestige. We don't carry lumber. Why would we do that?
You sit and relax and recline.
Recline, yes.
But I did notice that is designed for road trips.
Yes.
It's not necessarily aimed at kids, and I can confirm it does pass the extra large frame mountain bike test.
Oh, really?
It took a little bit of wedging, but once it was in, I had it down the center section, And
Oh,
you
with
could
these
probably-
seats still in and
with
up.
those seats
Oh, interesting.
still in
Okay.
it.
It's a Carnival. We got to swap. We got to swap.
Yes, I would love to get in there.
And you can play with the stupid seat while we do things. I love it. It's great. It's great.
Oh, they're wider, and the
They are a little
texture's
wide.
different.
They're yes. Well,
See?
that's because there's no center console, and they can slide in and out.
Oh,
and
it's
go
like
back and forth.
the hip move. You can slide them to the center, and that's how you recline all the way back, and then use the power seat controls. I'm just gonna go ahead and relax then.
Yeah. Okay. You relax.
But see,
All
you're
good.
right. I'm gonna break my ankles.
This is built on actually the same chassis as the new Sorento and the K5. So Kia is
What?
definitely
I was
using this
asleep.
chassis a lot. I know. I'm sorry.
Are you
It's
talking?
Okay. You're okay. You're fine. You just
Okay,
lay back.
all
It's
right.
fine. There is an awful lot of piano black in here for a place that's going to be covered in kids, and kids are covered in things. I mean, nothing is ever going to be the same as it looks right now.
Screens are kid goo proof.
And I doubt it.
What I like about both of these is that since minivans have gotten out of control large, this still feels compact in a way with a lot of good space utilization and good seat thinking here.
I think the interior space is incredible, and the exterior space isn't nearly as large as the interior leads you to believe.
Yeah,
and they
that's
have
what's
done
great.
better as far as rear cargo space. They have done better than almost anybody else in the segment. It's very similar to everybody else in the segment as far as if you take the second row out to do all that kind of thing.
Yep.
But let's be honest, you're buying a huge box van. That's really what these are. These are a box van with luxury amenities
Totally.
that take the family. And then what is your configuration? Are you more kid friendly here with, again, as you were shown, with the seat that goes forward and back, or becomes a heavy duty console here? There are USB ports galore. In spite of having screens, Kia is expecting that every single seat has their own phone or device. Plus you have 2 actually household wall plugs in here, in addition to the fact you have 9 USB ports. I was going to do that same thing with my legs, because you and I are just too long.
This is nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
See, otherwise you'd be kicking the backs of the seats here.
I did that. I actually
Yeah,
got my
that's
ankles clipped.
That would be comfortable for road trips.
Yeah.
I would like that, but it's
Here's the thing. It's almost as comfortable as I want it to be. I know that sounds weird.
we're too big.
I guess
We're
so.
too big.
I guess it's just a
it's
size
not
problem.
Kia, it's us. We
Okay.
acknowledge that.
All right,
and now I'm
fine.
stuck. Okay, there we go.
You're back. Look at you. Hey, you're back in the conversation. I like this. Look, this builds on all the stuff that Kia is doing well right now, which is nice looking interior materials. I do think there's way too much piano black in here for a family vehicle. I think it's on the door panels, it's on the center console, it's all over the place. That's
Yeah.
going to only look nasty. You get comfortable enough over there? You having a Carnival?
In the Carnival.
Okay, there you go. Good, excellent. But I mean, it also does all of the minivan thinking with the electric doors and the electric hatch and the fold-away seats. and all that
Electric
kind of stuff.
everything. It's nice.
It's a minivan. I know I'm not supposed to say it. It's an MPV. For all of you in Europe, you're finally going, good, the Americans have caught up. Kia is talking about they think they found a segment between minivan and SUV. I don't think so. I don't think that is a segment.
If they lift it with all-wheel drive and it can do more
There you
off-roady
go.
kinds of things.
Maybe that is the middle ground, is if it had all-wheel drive and a bit of a lift kit so you
Yes.
could do the fire roads. Right now, it is a good-looking minivan, but it is a minivan. But it does all the good minivan stuff, and I think having these 2 configurations is very interesting because we get to compare and contrast, and we also get to play with the seat and be goofy. That's part of it as well.
Take a look around at the Tuscan umber interior. That's right, I just used those words in a sentence.
Isn't it brown? Isn't it just brown?
No, it's Tuscan umber. All right, so look at the buttons on the front passenger seat on the inside.
Yep.
For the rear passengers to screw with the front passenger who says, well, is this good? How about now? Forward, back? Do you have enough space? Do you have enough space? The rear passengers can now control that with these 2 buttons, fore and aft and the seat back.
Makes a lot more sense in that
makes
which is like the
sense.
livery setup than it does in this.
The interior materials continue to impress. I'm in the XS Prestige, and so the difference is the textured aluminum look
Yes.
that is matched on the C-pillar right here. There's just a little bit of nice texture. It's different than the wood grain, which is actually really good in the SX.
It does actually look pretty good in here, I have to admit, yeah.
It doesn't come off as trying to be wood. It just looks like a natural material and a natural breakup to your eye. So all the materials, everywhere you look, and have you noticed the instrument panel? It is very Mercedes-like.
They've been
But
doing
what
that
they've-
for a bit, yeah.
What they've done differently is there's a slight lip just over the top. Now in the Prestige, you get the full digital screen.
Yes.
Whereas in the SX,
There's gauges in
you
here,
get
yeah.
analog gauges. So you can tell a little bit of the trim level, you can tell the differences.
It's definitely
what
about
is your usage.
specs for your usage in your
And
family.
that is what Kia, I think, is onto here. That's why they sent us 2 of these.
Yeah, we wondered at first, besides the fact that there's 2 of us, we're both different idiots, but besides that fact, we did wonder why there were 2. We hope...
Idiots doing
by
the same
way,
thing, but...
Kia, in the future, if you're going to send us 2, make one red and one blue, and we'll, I don't know, drag race them.
Yeah,
Even
no
if they are
kidding.
vans, we'll do that for sure. The other thing about this is you definitely see that they said, how do you need the spec of this? And you can spec it that way. The other thing is Kia continues to do that thing that has been successful for them or was successful for Lexus prior, and that is they offer everything you can get in the more expensive competitors for a little bit less. The one that's 48 with loaded executive package and that kind of stuff. You do that in other people's vans, it's going to be low 50s. It's going to be 3 or 4, maybe $5,000 more. That is a difference.
They've gotten shockingly expensive, to be honest.
They really have.
I'm in a minivan, and so no longer is minivan correlating to a price, but it's not a derogatory term anymore.
These are the right way to do space if you need space in kids.
Yeah.
And if you are a livery person, what are you doing? You're trying to give luxury to your passenger. You're not worried about driving dynamics. It's not about that. You want space. Again, this is the best thing. But you and I are about driving. We should drive them.
Before we do, I want to take you around the exterior of the vehicle. What Kia has done is the line, it's what Kia calls a bold sideline, and connects the headlights and the taillights and makes for interesting geometric shapes all the way over, all the way around. Look, this bold line. Can you see that line that connects where that slide for the door is? And look at all the lines, all the shut lines, and how they're so nicely thought about. I'm gonna give it a Mazda compliment here. I think it's that well curated and that well taken care of.
The Carnival is a Mazda?
I knew you were gonna do that. Let's go driving.
It's a party in the Carnival.
But it is fun to say Carnival. Carnival. I think that Kia realized there were gonna be so many people in your Carnival at all times. They decided to put as many advanced safety features on the car as standard equipment as they could possibly pack on here.
Agreed.
So their marketing department could claim that it's more than any of their competitors, which is a good thing, because you're going to be distracted in this thing constantly.
Yes, you are. There'll be a lot of this.
There's going to be a lot of swiping and hand waving and yelling.
For sure. All of the above.
And so you want all those safety features in your minivan. MPV. Minivan. You don't buy minivans for how they drive. You don't do it. You don't buy them for that. This is front wheel drive only, and I have to say this as a reality, but not intended as a strike. Okay.
This is the most front wheel drive feeling vehicle I've driven in a long time.
I agree with that.
Very front wheel drive. It feels like a small version of the traditional front wheel drive vans. What I mean is, it feels like you're sitting over the front wheels. You aren't quite, but it feels like you're actually sitting on top of the front wheels.
Vanagon.
Yeah, and those are doing all the work, is what it feels like. You're very aware. The steering is very light, because of course it is, and you're very aware that the front half of the car is just towing the rest behind.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the people that are going out there and buying like big 15-passenger vans, like a Transit or a Sprinter or whatever, I think what you imagine those drive like, this drives like the sports car version of that. Those folks that are trying to buy, those folks that are trying to buy one of those huge vans for all their capability, I suspect this has got almost as much space, but it doesn't drive big like those do.
It feels kind of like a minivan, like minivans used to be. They were kind of mini, but there was still a lot of space in there.
Excellent point. Yes.
It sounds crazy, but minivans are gigantic now.
They have gotten big.
And they're advertised as, we have a lot of space. Well, that's because your van's huge.
Well, they all are also starting to feel large.
Yes,
and
I think
this doesn't feel large. It feels very front-wheel drive, and it feels just open. It's not concerned at all about, look, I have a sport mode here. Wait,
what does
I have
that
a sport
do?
mode. The lights change. The gauge says sport. This is what it does. I can actually shift. Now, it's not a CVT. It's an 8-speed actual gearbox.
And good on Kia for doing that.
And I can actually change. And that brings me to the power. Brand new V6 in this from Kia. What is it, 290 horsepower?
290.
260 something pound-feet of
262.
torque. And naturally aspirated. Which means that I can take this engine with this gearbox, I can tell it a gear, I can use that crazy little right foot idea of actually giving it acceleration.
Yeah.
It has genuine power.
It does.
It's surprisingly fast.
Well, look, the Telluride has 291. We liked it because it was fast. That's out of a 3.8 liter. This is 3.5 with good torque, and as we stated before, 3,500 pounds towing capacity, because that's kind of what you're looking for in your MPV.
Yes.
Minivan,
whatever. You haul a little tiny trailer, or you haul your jet skis to the lake. To the lake. That's kind of what this is for.
Exactly right. And you can. And that's what a minivan should, to get out of its own way. It can't just be this slow lumbering thing. There's something that I noticed while driving. The low instrument panel.
Very low, yes.
It's different than every other minivan on the market. So different that it's changed the way you feel about the road. Just your picture window. It feels small again just by dropping the cowl height. I haven't seen that in a long time.
It is very low, you're right.
It kind of used to be a thing. It's sort of a novelty now. Like, oh yeah.
Well, this
used to do this.
If you look at it just from the side, I think the nose in the design almost looks too small.
Yeah.
But that's because this is the benefit. And that also adds to that traditional van feeling I'm talking about, where you feel like you're just right up over the front wheels. That low cowl actually lends to that. What I realized right away is the visibility is immense in this. Everywhere you need to see, there are no blind spots. I mean, your kids' heads are going to be in the way, but otherwise, there are no blind spots really. I mean, you can just see everything you need to. And of course, it's got backup cameras and sensing for everything. I literally was backing out of my driveway, and there was a car that turned onto my block. It was in reverse, and it went, look out, look out, somebody coming. I was like, yeah, but they're over there. So there are plenty of safety features here. Everything you can imagine.
The sensors were clean.
They are happy. They are ready to do their work. They are alert. I have work to do.
Ready to go.
Yes, I'm going to protect you and your family, which is cool. Yeah. You ready to enjoy sport mode?
Oh, can I enjoy sport mode?
Hey.
I can't wait.
Your MPV is better because it has sport mode.
Goody.
Carnival! Somewhere in Brazil, someone wants to kill me.
Oh no, oh no.
Because of
Don't
Carnival.
do it. Ugh, there it is. Well, I'm going to do it again. The ball test. That's pretty good. It doesn't sound tin can-ish.
It doesn't.
It sounds very good, very well built.
It does sound solid. Yes, I agree with that.
I'm pretty impressed with that. $48,000?
Well, but there's two ways to look at that. Wow, when did minivans get that expensive?
Right.
On the other end of the spectrum, if you look at the market segment, though, they are offering you more for less. People think that pickups and minivans are cheap. Neither are true anymore.
That's true.
Absolutely.
The interesting thing, I think, here is the screen. You feel like you're getting a lot for your money. And on the SX Prestige, you get 4 different modes, 4 different skins for your IP, and you can connect them to driving modes. As you change modes, it'll change your screen for you. And this cool Hyundai Kia Genesis thing, when they're both screens and you use your turn signal either direction, they become the screens, so the cameras are in your blind spots here, and you've got those. All those little things help because, as you said, when the brood is in the way and blocking your view, as they will be, and you use your turn signal just like this, you've got the screen for your blind spot. It's here.
I'm surprised no one's stolen it yet.
I agree.
Because since everybody's doing full digital screens, you would think that this would start to become industry standard. So far, this is Kia only doing that, and it's very cool.
It feels smaller. It doesn't drive amazingly well.
It doesn't drive like, oh, look at this drives well. No, but it drives great for its segment. Yeah.
But for its segment, and it just feels a little bit more compact around me. I do have one gripe. And that is wind noise. I feel like I'm hearing so much behind me on this car. Today's a windy day, but still, I'm feeling like I'm hearing a lot more wind noise in both of these.
But I also think it's one of those things where when you get into a large space, the space has air presence.
True.
This
and
is
I'm
such
hearing
a cavernous space. You are aware of the size of it just by the way air goes over the vehicle. You're just like, this is huge in here, which is back to the point that it doesn't drive as big as it actually feels.
It really
in
doesn't.
Here.
Sport mode, except you're going to do this. As soon as you go into sport mode,
no, not going to happen.
Here.
Nope.
That's okay, but you can shift here. That's fine. That's all right.
And power, and also an engine that when you really get into it sounds halfway decent. And naturally aspirated, which is cool.
Every vehicle that Kia makes, they have a flavor that is the one that just works. The one that is tried and true, and we know this recipe works, and we've exploited it, and we're doing good things with it, and that's the one you want to buy.
That was a Delica.
Yeah.
That was an actual Delica. Talk about somebody sitting on top of their front axle.
Yeah, no kidding.
He lives on the front of the car.
That's a van.
Yeah, that's a van, for sure, yes. This gets 0 to 60 at around high 6s, low 7s. That's one of those things where you get beside a Miata or an FRS, you're now the minivan that takes them at the light.
Yeah.
That's what you are in here. The flip side here is the gas mileage here isn't great. It's low 20s.
There's your trade-off.
So that is the trade-off for it driving smaller than it actually is and having more power than we expected.
Chucking this into a corner.
Yes.
Well, low speed, but not too bad. Not too
Well,
bad.
I'll say this to you. It is well-controlled body movement, but it is big car body movement.
It's big, but it's not as big as the other vans, and it doesn't float.
It doesn't float at all.
Pretty well controlled.
It's very
which I
well buttoned
appreciate.
down. It's just this is a large vehicle, and you can feel it when you turn.
Can I pass him on the left and just scare the? I bet you I could.
You could.
Carnival on 2 wheels. Carnival on 2 wheels.
It's really a carnival party now. The Carnival.
Sure is.
Okay.
Okay, so here's a takeaway. If you're shopping in this category, you've definitely got to consider one of these. Minivans and MPVs have gotten very, very good.
If usable space is the number one consideration what you're doing, you have to be looking at minivans. The secondary thing I would say is that Kia has created a player and the Sedona was not.
But again, we're in a box.
We are. We're in a shipping container with nice trim on the C-pillar. That's exactly what it is.
And you've got Tuscan Umber.
Wow,
Just wanted to
Tuscan
use that in
Umber.
a
That's
sentence again.
excellent. I'm really excited about that on the
Telling
Carnival.
you. Oh, there it is.
Speaking of things we get to do again, after this review, I don't get to do that anymore.
But see,
so that's going to be really disappointing. My wife is going to be very sad.
So I got to drive with my knees so I can do the Carnival. That will endlessly make me laugh.
I'm glad because it's never happening again as soon as we park this thing. It's never happening again. And the world is better for it.
Why can't we drag race these things? I just want to do a brake stand.
Because it's really,
I want to
really
do things
not what
with
it's good with.
I want to jump this thing.
Kia, when you make it all-wheel drive with a slight lift, send it back. We'll jump it. We will absolutely jump it.
X-Line with all-wheel drive. Maybe throw a turbo on there. Sell it for the same price as your other competitors.
It's Utah. We have dunes. We can absolutely jump this thing.
Dunes?
Send a red and a blue one. We'll jump them like this. It'll be great.
Yes.
It'll be awesome.
Can we have some squibs
Slow-mo,
like Michael Bay?
Slow-mo and fireworks.
Yeah.
How to make a minivan MPV a real actual Carnival.